Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah.
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونستهديه ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. يقول الله تعالى في القرآن الكريم بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتون إلا وأنتم مسلمون وقال كذلك يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا فإن الأصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. My respected brothers and sisters, we just wanted to talk a little bit today about family life in light of the religion of Islam, inshallah ta'ala. So, like the days and times that we're living in, the 21st century or the 15th Islamic century, things are kind of like really upside down regarding like what used to be started being traditional, not just Islamic values, but just traditional values regarding family. And so Allah, He says in the Quran, in the ayat that we recited a little bit earlier, He testifies how all humanity came from a marriage bond. So He testifies to this when He says, Ya ayyuhan nasu ittaqu rabbakum alladhi khalaqakum min nafsin wahida. O mankind, have taqwa of your Lord, the one who created you from a single soul, and that soul was Adam. وَخَلَقَ مِنْهَا زَوْجَهَا, and from that soul created his spouse, and his spouse was Eve. And from those two, He spread out all of the men and all of the women. So all of humanity came from a marriage bond. And so we see from this ayat that marriage is what testifies to a certain unity. I mean, it's just like simple arithmetic, right? You got two people, sometimes, Islamically, I guess it could be up to 5, but we won't talk about that in the Khutbah. But you usually got standardly, you got about 2 people, they meet each other, they get together, they become one unit, they become a family. And then all of the offspring become part of that family. So even if it might be 6 or 7 or 8 kids, They belong to that one family. And that family traditionally has been the backbone of life. Every society, any society you go to, you're going to know how productive that society is by looking at the family structure of that society. So if you go to a society, you don't even speak the language, but you see kids walking to school with their parents, and you see, men going to work, and you see, just the family structure of life, you know that that's a healthy society. And that's how societies are until Shaitan starts to play with those societies. So Shaitan tries to take away the traditional family roles. So instead of the parents telling the children what to do, the children start telling the parents what to do. The Prophet, he said, one of the signs of the Day of Judgment is that the slave girl will give birth to her master. And many of the ulama, when they explain this statement, they're saying that even though traditionally the mother is the highest position in the home, and traditionally children should love and honor their mothers, even when they grow up. The mother is the highest point of the home. But one of the signs of the last day is that the mothers will be like slaves, because the children won't have no respect. The children will be like, you can't tell me what to do. You don't run nothing around here. I ain't got to listen to you. So Satan flips the traditional role. And another role that is flipped by Satan is the role of the husband. The husband is supposed to be obeyed and respected in his house. This is the position of the male in the house. I didn't make up this position. This isn't patriarchy speaking. This is known even in the Arabic language. Even in the Arabic language, the fatha is above the kasra. And when you speak to a man, you say anta. And when you speak to a woman, you say auntie. And I'm not pulling no punches today. I'm not pulling no punches because sisters are going to get upset. Say he's being a chauvinist, but I'm not. A man has to be respected in his home. If a man's not respected in his home, he's not going to stay in the home. He's not going to stay in the home. And when the marriages are splitting up, at the rate that they're splitting up, this is a cancer for the ummah of the Prophet. Alayhi salatu wasalam. There's never been a time in Islamic history where Muslim marriages had an expiration date. Like we going in and it's going to be good for about 6-7 months. And then after that it's just, we just holding on. See how long we can hold on. There's no joy left in the house. And then what happens is kids, they grow up seeing this. So our children, they grow up seeing the parents divorcing or already divorced. They grow up seeing, like when I came or started practicing Islam, we used to hear beautiful khutbahs about marriage. But Ismail will tell you he was around, you know what I'm saying? But Salahuddin, all of it was like, brothers take shahada, they hear that khutbah, they be like, okay, I'm getting married tomorrow. Because once I get married, it's going to be all good. That was what the imam would tell us. Like, you getting married, you ain't going to have no more problems in life. Your wife is going to love you, you know what I'm saying? Your kids are going to obey you. And then, you know, brothers jumped into those marriages, and we found out that we not just dealing with, you know, one, we dealing with a fantasy. The sisters got a fantasy of what a husband should be like, and the husband got a fantasy of what the sister should be like, his wife. And we sticking to it. We ain't trying to say, okay, you know, it's a couple curveballs, let me adjust my swing. We gonna just strike out. We gonna say, okay, this should be like this is how it's supposed to work. Like if you've been married for a few years, brothers and sisters, you should already know what your spouse ain't gonna put up with. And that's just something that you should say, okay, he ain't gonna like this, science ain't gonna do it. Even though my friends tell me, don't do it anyway. And brothers should say, my wife ain't gonna like this, so I just ain't gonna do it. Even though the brothers is like, come on man, you a man. You know what I'm saying? So we're dealing with a fantasy of what we think a marriage is going to be like. And then we hear these beautiful stories about, you know, Islamic marriage. And then we see, you know, a couple of older aunties and uncles that they've been married, coming to the masjid. You be like, it's working for them. You know, you don't know what kind of struggles they went through. But they was able to stick together because they had taqwa. And the beginning of the ayah is, O mankind, have taqwa of Allah. Have fear of Allah. Submit to Allah. When your husband does something you don't like, submit. I say, okay, well, I'm just going to submit to this. Because it ain't easy being Muslim. Islam is the hard path. It's the steep climb. If you wasn't Muslim, you could have as many boyfriends and girlfriends as you wanted. But you said, I'm a Muslim. And the trademark of being Muslim is you give up naturally things that you think that you want. Every Muslim does that. You go to the grocery store, it's all kind of stuff in them aisles. You gotta be selective. I can't eat this, it's not hand starter. I can't eat these cookies, there's wine in the dough. You gotta give up stuff and be selective. And when it comes to marriage, if you're gonna make it, you gotta be selective. What's worth getting into a fight about? Most of the stuff we fighting about ain't even worth fighting about. If we could give up Starburst candy. Starburst got gelatin in it. I ain't gonna eat it no more. Then we should be able to adjust when we get to the home. Because we should know if I'm Muslim, everything ain't gonna go my way all the time. But in the hereafter, it's going to be all gravy. Whatever I'm giving up here, I'm going to get a reward for it in the next life. So the sister want to do something I don't want her to do, but I'm just going to let it ride this time. Go on, do it, sis. I already got that I told you so speech ready. Brother want to do something you don't want to do, so I'm just going to let it ride this time. I'm going to hold back my tongue. Instead of saying, that ain't going to work, I'm just going to say, mashallah. Every marriage is successful. This is the secret to a successful marriage for brothers and sisters. When you hear the stupidest suggestion you ever heard, and you ready to say, that sounds like a good idea, baby, you ready to get married. If you ain't ready to do that, you ain't ready to get married. If you want to be all factual and logical, you ain't ready to be married. Because this is two different people trying to live together. Men are from Mars. Where are women from? Venus. That's right. So we from different planets, y'all. We gotta adjust. Stop coming to the masjid and complaining to the imam. We don't want to hear it no more. Just go home and make it work. We don't want to hear it. Like, we can barely make it work ourselves. And you trying to have us give you some advice. I'm like, man, can you get up out of here with that? My wife wanted to do this. And my brother was like, my wife wanted to take a trip. I was like, she needs you to drive her to the airport? Well, she ain't traveling with her. I said, man, come on, man. If she take that trip and something happen, then you could be like, well, see, the hadith said you weren't even supposed to be doing that. But I'll let you do it anyway. That's I told you so speech. Marriage is run on the I told you so speech. For the brothers and the sisters, we gonna let you go on and do what you gonna do and say I told you so. And that's how we gonna start making these. That's how you think they made it work in the generations before. You think everybody just agreed on everything? Everybody just felt like everybody else's suggestions was cool? You gotta pick, you gotta say, this ain't even worth fighting about. Tired of the fights. It's gone, go ahead, you got this one. But when it don't work out, I'm saying I told you so. And that's just marriage. It's marriage one-on-one. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم. Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalam ala Rasulullah wa ala alihi wa ashabihi wa man wala wa ba'd. So when we're making the choices that's going to help our marriages stay together, we know that we have traditional roles. We shouldn't actively undermine those roles. So you know that your wife got a certain standard with the kids. You might think she's being a little rough on the kids. But you just gotta, okay, that's your role. I'm not gonna actively undermine the role of a mother to her children. Because that's crazy. And the husband, he has a role. He is the king. He is the Amir of the house. If you don't like him being that way, you should not have agreed to marry him. But now that you are married, the man is the Amir of that house. It's not Sheikh Saad. It's not Imam Zayd. Unless those are your husbands. If those people aren't your husbands, you can go to them for advice. But the man cannot be undermined in his house unless he's being abusive. I'm not saying if somebody's an abuser and you know, sisters want to get mad at me, put me on Facebook, they can check my record. Know what I'm saying? Brother Ibrahim know. Sisters done called. We done told brothers they had to get out of town. Know what I'm saying? But if a sister call and be like, the brother don't want me to watch TV, well, you need to turn the TV off then. Because he's the Amir in that house. If it's not just open abuse, don't come complaining. Because everybody is hard to get along with. That's why we are individuals. Everybody. That's why Allah started out the whole statement by saying have taqwa. Because you guys are not going to be on the same page, and y'all shouldn't expect to be on the same page. Y'all shouldn't think it's just going to all slide into place. But traditional roles shouldn't be undermined. When brother says this, and it's not haram, that's what we going with in this house. Like, well, the brother's a little strict. My wife bought it. So sisters say this about the kids, and it's not haram, that's what we going with for them kids in this house. Say, but my mama won't win it. Well, that's your mama though. Know what I'm saying? You gotta respect, you gotta honor your mama. Paradise is at the feet of your mama. That's every man, every grown man knows that. Every grown man knows that. He says, man, that's my mama, man. Like, she might have did this, she might have did that, but this my mama though. You say something about her, you're gonna have a problem. And that shouldn't be undermined. We shouldn't work to undermine people's opinions that are lofty of their mothers, their wives, and their husbands. We shouldn't play Satan's role. We shouldn't be the one on the phone gossiping. The brother did this, the sister did that. We should just stay, mind your own business, man. Like if it's open abuse, that's one thing. But if it's just these little ticky-tack things, I don't even care about that stuff. Like, don't come to me and say that this brother did this and it's something that's lawful, because you might give me an idea. Like, the brother did this. That sound like that works. If you don't want something done, don't even bring it up. Just, just be just rolling. And let all of these, inshallah, all of these marriages that people are in now, and people are thinking about getting in, we need these marriages to start lasting. Because we want our kids to see successful marriages. One of the sisters told me the other night, she said she was at the youth group, and they was teenagers, they was talking about marriage. She said, how many of y'all, she said, I'm a child of divorce. How many of y'all are children of divorce? She said 2/3 of the kids raised their hands. 2/3 of the children in our masjid. This isn't a fictional mosque or hypothetical. This is the Lighthouse Mosque youth group. 2/3 of the kids are children of divorce. And everybody's acting like ain't nothing wrong. Something's wrong, man. Because it's like some of these marriages are going under after 20 years. You be like, how y'all breaking up after 20 years? The 20 years, it's a habit. Like, you ain't even got no game no more. How you gonna get remarried? All your game is from the 90s. You like, what's your sign, girl? It's like, come on, man. We got to do better as Muslims. As Muslims that attend this masjid and every other masjid in the Bay Area. If we hear about a marriage on the rocks, we got to tell them people they got to try to make it work. Instead of just saying, oh, brother, they don't got to take that stuff. Be like, man, go home and make it work, man. Go home and apologize, man. Go buy some flowers. Just to make it work. Because it's going to be so much easier if both parents are at the house. It's so much harder when the parents, the kids, they spending half the week here, the other half there. People forgetting whose turn it is to pick them up. Parents got to call. Kids still at school, what y'all doing? We all got to just be in one house. We got to be in one house, and it should be a house filled with love. Because we Muslims. And rahmah. But what the ton wa rahmah? This is what Allah said. He described the Muslim marriages as being filled with love and mercy. So this is what Allah expects. Allah expects love and mercy in our marriages. So we got to ask ourselves, are we having mawaddatan wa rahmah? Or are we just barely holding on? And we shouldn't put it on our spouse. Say, well, when that person starts having rahmah for me, I'll start having rahmah. That's not how it works. Each spouse has to say, I'm going to have rahmah, even if the other person doesn't show. And that's the sacrifice that the old Muslims used to have. See, you think them old Muslims didn't want to be a rock star? Said, man, if I can get saddled with all these kids, I could have been an astronaut. They had them same dreams and aspirations. Marriage is the reality, though. You can dream about whatever, but if you can't build a family, you can't build a civilization. If you cannot build a family, don't tell me you want to be an architect. Draw some plans on how you're going to keep your family together, and I'll be impressed. Allahumma ihdina fi man hadayt, wa afina fi man afayt, wa tawallana fi man tawallayt, innaka tahdi wa la yuqda alayk. Allahumma ansur al-Islam wa izz al-Muslimin, wa thabbit aqdam al-mujahideen fi kulli makan ya Rabbal Alameen. Wa salatu wa salam ala al-ashraf al-mursaleen, Amir Muhammad, wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. Aqimus salat.